Would you look at that? Just look at it. No, wait, not that. That's the view. Look at that. That is the Polestar 4. A couple firsts here for me. The first car without any buttons on the key fob. It also has its own card, I'm assuming, which acts like a key. This is an EV, and God, where do I even start? This is the first press vehicle I've had with tinted windows. Purposely tinted windows, but then again, this is an SUV, and SUVs have tinted windows. But just look at this thing. You'll notice a few things here. I'll point them out. There's no back window. Yeah, that's kind of crazy, isn't it? Downside here is I cannot open the trunk from the key fob. I actually have to either walk up to it and kick it if it has the option to open, which it doesn't on this one, or I push the button. You have to pardon the... I sneezed and got leaves all over the place. This basically has a very nice trunk. The seats do fold down. There's somewhat of a pass-through. It's not that much. And then if you look up, you're like, oh yeah, there's no window. And they do this to have a better design for the cabin. It's quieter and all sorts of stuff. There's a lot of benefits here. And you know what? Driving my Land Rover Discovery, where all the headrests are up, you can't see out the back either. So when you get used to not looking out the mirror, you don't really care what's behind you anyway, to be honest, especially in this thing, going 0 to 60 in just over 3.5 seconds. By the time you cross the intersection, you're already breaking the speed limit in this thing. This is the dual motor, long range Pilot. So we'll dive deep into that. I can tell you a couple things. First off, if you saw gold brake calipers, the Swedish gold, like Polestar gold calipers, you would know that it has the performance pack, which this does not, right? But we still have 21-inch wheels. The performance pack would have 22 wheels with high performance tires. These are Michelin's, by the way. They do quite well. They're not Pilot Sport, Super Sport, whatever they call them. These are just the regular all-season, what are they called? I don't even see a name. Michelin Total Performance. Yeah. Primacy all-season. Which is hilarious, because this thing's got like 500-something horsepower. That's the charging port. It opens digitally. The door handles go flush. They come out when you walk near the car, because you don't have a key with buttons. You could either swipe your card or your key here, which I would assume starts to scratch it. And then here you could just touch this little dimple to lock it, or if somehow it doesn't recognize your key fast enough, or maybe you're like me and you have an RFID wallet in your pocket, this next to your key will make the car not recognize you sometimes. But yeah, this is a 100 kilowatt hour battery. See, I walked away, it locked. Yeah, it's kind of weird the way it is with the keys. Frameless windows, right? And let's get to the inside, because it's cold out there. Woo! Yeah. All right. The inside. Look at this. This thing looks amazing at night. That's what the backyard. That's what the back seat looks like. Now, a couple things you need to know. This panel roof, which debuted in the Polestar 2, which is no longer made, is here in the 4, Polestar 4. There is an optional accessory that's like $250, and it's a shade that's foldable in like 2 or 3 sections, and it folds and it has a cover. I think it should just come with the car in Texas, because obviously this is not the summer right now. We're in February, end of February, and it's 46 degrees out this morning. So I have no complaints about the glass this time of year. But the back seat will recline, and you would see. Well, let's just get in the back real quick. It's just easier to get in the back. Bada bing, bada boom. Sorry, I have some files back here. Let's get these files out of the way. What a mess. Everything flies around in this car when I when I hit the go pedal and blast through all the juice in the batteries. Okay, so normally if you pull this armrest down, you would see a little button here on the I think it's called the Plus Pack. The Plus Pack actually has electric reclining rear seats, and I'm sure they just go back a couple inches because then the headrest would have to clear the back. So maybe it's just a token, but I think it's still useful. What's really cool, this goes up. Okay, so you can fit three aside here. The back seat is a little higher, the floor is a little higher, I'm assuming for the battery placement and stuff. But when you sit back here, the view is pretty good. And of course, Polestar is a division, somewhat, of Volvo. So the Polestar 2 was more Volvo S60-like. They killed the S60. They killed the Polestar 2. And then they have the 3, which is more like a wagon shooting brake version of this. This is the 4. And then there's a 5, but I don't know if the 5's coming to the US. This glass, though, makes this back seat very pleasant. There's a lot to see from here without the shade in place. And, you know, I don't know how to really show it on camera. It's not like... It feels like you're in a convertible, but it's not claustrophobic in here at all. So I like it. I like it a lot. Also, with this not being the Plus Pack, this is the core, I guess, version with the Pilot package. This is the interior you get. This is like it's like a swimsuit material. I think this was on my Volvo C30, my 2011 C30 that I bought, which was a two-door shooting brake coupe. That was really cool. I have a video on that. Go watch that on my channel if you're interested. Basically, I'll tell you what it is. This is the best EV I have ever driven, and I'll explain why. We even have vents back here on the side and down here. And if we had the Plus Pack, we would have a display here, very Volvo-ish display, to control not only the audio, but the third climate zone back here. So there are options. And I'll get to the price in a second because I was stunned. And I know I sound excited. You're like, Brian, it's an EV. Why are you excited? Because if you know my channel and you know me, I've been doing this for 10 years. This is the first time in my life as an automotive journalist that I got behind the wheel of a car and I thought, I'm an automotive journalist. And it's that feeling that I had when I was very young and wanted to be an automotive journalist. This car gave me that feeling of like, oh my God, I did it. I can't describe it. But that's very strange. So getting in is just like a normal car experience. Looking at it as a normal car experience. Calling it an SUV, well, everyone stretches that term these days. You actually can get, look at my hair in the roof. Ugh, it's just windy out. Here you can actually get mud flaps, right? So one thing this does have is a ZF or a ZF adjustable dampers, electronically adjustable dampers. There are 3 modes: normal, vibrant, I think it's called, and then like hard, rock hard. And I think here in Texas, you don't need rock hard at all. Normal and vibrant are good enough. I have some comments on how it operates, but the other night I went out in this thing and everyone's like, what is that? I like that. It looks great. And this is what I'm getting to on my point here. The only other EV that I drove that I liked was the Jag I-Pace. And that's because it was a car first and an EV second, right? Most cars out there are EVs first and then a car. Like they're like, let's build an EV. Whereas here it's like, let's build a car and let's make it an electric car. So that's what I'm saying. This gives the image of I'm not here on my H1B in Frisco, Texas, because I am in Frisco, Texas. So people don't know what to do. I can blast their doors off with this thing in pure silence and just enjoy every moment behind the wheel of this thing. There is a frunk, and there are like 13 cameras. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, of course on this side. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I don't know, I lost count, but there's some cameras on here. It doesn't have the side view camera, like when you hit the blinker. It doesn't show me anything in the display like a Hyundai, Kia, Genesis would, or even a Honda, but only on the right side. This doesn't have that vision, but it does use the cameras for 360 surround and low speeds and all sorts of other stuff, because this is the Pilot pack, right? So we're gonna dive into the window sticker. And there's no on or off button. If you're familiar with the Porsche, whatever that Porsche is called, this is very similar. There's like a power button here, but there's no actual on-off like in a regular car. So let me get my seatbelt on. All you do is just get in, put your foot on the brake, and then put drive, and there we go. Sometimes it won't recognize my key in my pocket next to my RFID blocking wallet. So I have the key here. This is just the cup holder. That's a phone charger / a spot where it can recognize the key. Although I do have to say, the way I drive, the phone just launches out of here. So I launch that way, I launch that way, and the phone launches towards me. It always hits this volume knob, and it like skips over it, it pauses the sound, it pauses the music, which Wade Watts, by the way, is pretty much, that's the soundtrack for this car. It sounds like I'm in like a bougie hotel nightclub elevator, like going up to the Duck and Waffle in London or something. We have storage down here, so it's very Volvo-like, very, very slim on the storage. Our hazard button is up here. I always love overhead buttons. I wish there were more buttons, but there aren't. We have regular buttons for the windows and the locks, and then our good luck having your valet figure that one out. Car is still active. That's right. It's okay. All right. So, driving it, we got our regular mirrors there, which the whole thing pivots, and you can actually hit this button here, go to adjustments, and left mirror adjust, and then you can use this pad to move the whole mirror. Because why have a housing with a mirror inside when the whole thing could be the mirror, which is brilliant. And I think, well, that'll get me to another point in 1 second. Let's get out of this menu. All right. Let me put it in park for a second. Because this thing, I mean, there's just so much here. We have our apps. We have apps when you're charging or whatever. And yes, I have been charging this every day. It's been costing me $30 at the rapid charger. I've been getting to 80 to 100% of charge. If you did it at home, it would be 1/3 that cost. And probably in Texas, at least, it'd be like $10 a day to get a 200-mile, 240-mile range. I basically don't get the full range because I have to go to a charging station to charge because I can't do it at home. So basically, $10 a day for me doing 150 miles a day. Sounds like a lot of money. It is kind of annoying, but that's every EV. So we'll exclude that experience here. We'll just talk about this vehicle because if I was to buy a vehicle today, I would buy this one. Strangely enough, because it's all-wheel drive. It's got dual motors. It has 500 plus horsepower. It does it in pure silence. And that's what I want to show you here. Let's turn this off. The air conditioning is cool. You move the vents with the screen and all that. I want to bring up something different. You notice that? Or what do you not notice? It's kind of a noisy road, but very little powertrain whine. There's no humming, buzzing, ticking, clicking, annoying sound. This thing is just, it just goes. Even when I drive along, it makes a sound outside. And when I put it in reverse, it makes a sound and beeps. Okay, kind of like a Fisker, but not so much like a guitar riff kind of sound. It's just like, and put it in drive and it tones it way down. Very nice. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do this. I don't need much road to demonstrate this at all. We have plenty of power. I'm going to go here to this mode, which enhances the speed. We're going to turn off one pedal drive. Only in an EV will one pedal creep sound like a good thing. All right, here we go. Ready to launch. It's going to add a little bit of a sound effect, I think, in performance mode. Let me just straighten out here. All right. All right, there we go. Didn't need much. Capable, totally capable. Smokes everything. Smoked Gouda, smoked cheddar, smoked Havarti, smoked naan. It's all smoked, bro. You're smoked with this thing. And because it's got that SUV thing going on, I don't have to worry about going over a gravel road like this at all, because the suspension feels so flat. Even over speed bumps, it does a really good job, almost like this magical thing going on. It's always hard to convey on the camera, but let me show you here. Let's do this. I'm gonna go to, there's two icons, right? That's a shortcut icon that I added, which puts it in tow mode, car wash mode, or animal mode for those things. And then there's this car mode down here, which then gives me the whole thing on the car. And you'll see right there, suspension feel. This is part of the performance pack, but it's on this car for some reason. Standard, nimble, firm. I like nimble. Standard is cushy when you got people in the car and stuff. Nimble, I like nimble. Firm is like, whoa, bro. Maybe if I lived in the Santa Monica Mountains again, I would put it on firm and just go carve in the mountains with that. We don't need it here in Texas, but it's nice to have. And then here we go back into range mode versus performance mode. Now, the reason why I would want the Plus pack is because it would have the upgraded stereo. It would have the, instead of this bone stock one, which isn't that impressive, I thought I was going to get like a Bowers & Wilkins in here from my Volvo S90 past. But no, we just have something. But if you got the Plus pack, which I highly recommend, then you would get the Harman Kardon system. Also, you would get Napa leather, okay? And you would actually get seats that have 12-way, including lumbar and massage. And I'm not sure if the massage is on the passenger or just the driver. Usually, though, Volvo would do it on both front seats. And that includes the reclining power rear seats as well. And the tailgate that would be activated with your kick. So the Plus pack is worth it. Something else to see is this blue stripe. I have a video at night I'm probably going to show you in a second. The lighting in here is really cool at night. This thing feels very wide. And just, you know, driving this, I feel like I'm finally in a new car. It feels so new, so forward. I don't want to, like, be cliche, but I'm telling you, of all the cars I've driven, hundreds of cars, all new cars, this one blew me away, because now, here we go. I'm going to get to, it's got to open the glove box. There's a code you can put to keep the glove box from opening as well. Okay, check this out. We don't really care about the fuel or the range cost or anything, because it's all subjective. I drive like an a-hole, so I don't expect much out of that, which is the point of being an automotive journalist. You gotta flex the muscles here. So 544 horsepower, 506 pound-feet of torque, 100 kilowatt-hour battery, and then continuously controlled active ZF dampers with coil springs. Okay, so I don't know if it's because it comes with the dual motor, but if those come with a dual motor, definitely just get the dual motor. Fun fact, if you get the single motor, this is actually a rear-wheel drive only vehicle if you don't get the dual motor. So you have all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive. Now keep in perspective, the Volvo S60 was front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. And then they had the T8, which was front with the motor, front with the engine and rear with the electric motor. So yeah, they've done a lot here. They've done a lot. Now, people talk about BYD and these Chinese cars coming. These cars have been here for a while. Funny enough, my Volvo S90 from 2020 was made in China. The Polestar 1 is the same factory that my S90 was made in, which they no longer have, the S90 or the P1, or the Polestar 1. here in the United States. They only made 1,500 Polestar ones anyway. So, yeah, you got to almost act quick. And the fun part is, I thought this was 80 grand. You might have already seen the price on the window sticker, but I'm driving this thing and I'm like, wow, it feels very, like, it reminds me of, like, I don't want to say a BMW 7 Series, but the width here, it's wider. It feels wider than an Audi A6, and I've owned several of those. This is very flat, very firm. The suspension is very new. You know, it's got all these adjustments. It's got a great atmosphere in here. I thought 80 grand. And the funny part was, I'm right and wrong. This car is $67,000. And it starts at 62 for the dual motors. Look at my nasty fingers. The 21-inch wheels, the Pilot. So it's already a Pilot here, which means it has the adaptive cruise control and the lane keeping. That it doesn't self-drive, but it just has the driver assistance stuff. And you'll notice there's no buttons to turn on or off the headlights. The headlights are just auto high beam or auto high beam off. And then the wipers are on or auto. So getting back here, metallic paint, and then there's an option to have like the side trim piece under the doors black, or pay more for have them painted the same color as the car. There's certain things you could do, but I would definitely go Polestar 4 dual motor, Pilot, maybe performance. You would get the Brembo brakes with the gold, Swedish gold calipers, and then the seatbelts would be gold as well. Traditional Volvo Polestar style gold. And then that comes with the same suspension I see here, right? And maybe this is just part of the dual motor setup. I don't know. I can't really tell. Doesn't really display that on the website either, what the difference is there. And then I would also get the Plus Pack, which would do the Napa leather and the massage seats and the 12-way, and then I would probably just option out the mud flaps and the shade. That would be somewhere around $80,000. So I was right on the money with that. But the spread is pretty good. And then this is the dual motor. So if you were like, oh, that's too much. First off, I went to the website and they're taking 10 grand off for cash buyers. They're incentivizing like 7,000, somewhere around there, and on a lease. And they're doing like a 2.9% interest rate right now. But if you look, the cars don't come in till May. So what I mean about forward and, you know, next level, I'm driving a car that you can't really get yet. So it was very nice of Polestar to let me experience this. And I really want one. Although I am a journalist and I am neutral and I'm not biased at all. I'm just saying, like, future, this is like on my list, and it should be on your list. Because here's the deal. I'm going to get philosophical. So let me get out of the car and get philosophical with you, because it makes a lot of sense to do so. As you know, in 2026, nobody wants to work. And if we've got factories coming online with AI and robots, and the factories don't even need lights because the robots are building things, I can see how we're going to have more EVs because the robots are going to be building them, and they're going to be built to a very, very tight tolerance. And I think that's going to bring prices down. And rather than having a motor where people don't want to work and no one wants to repair it, let alone build one, and I don't know if you can have robots build an engine faster than they can build an electric motor with a, you know, copper coil around it and then a little rod that powers the wheels. You know, like, they can build these faster and simpler, and maybe we get to a point where, like, yeah, with inflation, the number becomes nothing, but also because of the production. And as time goes on, you know, the old cars will die out or get totaled. New cars have to be purchased. It's just the cycle. I think if we go down the road 10 years from now and mark it, this is February 23rd, 2026. 10 years from now, EVs will be mainstream because that's all you will be able to afford. And especially if we have nuclear power plants, the power becomes cheaper as well. Maybe it just becomes free. Fun fact is, charging this thing is not free, and people were shocked. It's like, no, you got to pay for that. But I think eventually, 10 years from now, like, think about it this way. The Polestar 2, which they discontinued, I found one at Echo Park, which is like a subsidy of, I think, Sonic dealerships. It's their used car firm. I don't know who it was. They had a Polestar 2, the first iteration of this car. That, well, not this one, but the Polestar EV. The first iteration of the Polestar EV. It is a 2023 or a 2022. It has 5,000 miles on it. It was a corporate car, just a token EV, plug it in, get the tax credit car. I think they were paying somewhere around $600 a month. That's what you pay for this. If you got the single motor and whatever, I think it's around $490 a month. And you can go all the way up to $850 a month on this thing, depending on, you know, you want the body color clad, blah, blah, blah. It's all up to your heart's content. But my point is, you can get a Polestar 2 right now for $21,000 with only 5,000 miles on it, and it's 4 years old. People, these things, yeah, we'll call it disposable, but they'll also be so mass-produced and so easily mass-produced without any interference of production, meaning they can be made anywhere, they can be made at any time, they can be made in record time, and they can be made without any other issues. That means people can go back to, you know, we go back from paved roads, we can transition from paved roads again back to gravel and dirt, right? And going backwards may be the way to go forwards in this way. Like maybe we have more blacksmiths, more plumbers, fewer techie bros, and the only tech bros that we need are the ones that feed us the juice to get us places. Maybe. I don't know. I just made that up. So let me pop the frunk for you because it's not really that spectacular, but I'll show it to you anyway. 2 pops it. Yep, that's it. And nope, I didn't use this. The same leaves are here, which is funny. I don't know how that happened. And then that's your access panel for the washer fluid, which is so much better than the Mercedes EQ nonsense. So bad. I think the EQ design where they had the washer fluid on the side was because they forgot. And that shows you too how much they make an EV before they make a car, whereas this is a car, and then they made it an EV. But they had no plans to put an engine in it. But look at it. And yeah, it's made in China, but we've had cars here made in China for years already. So BYD is late to the party. Polestar is the party animal. Let's just say that. All right, so we get in. It's still on, right? And then I'm going to put my seatbelt on. Safety first. I don't even know what that is. That looks like a camera, and I thought, well, maybe there's an app in here, but heck, I don't know. Maybe there's apps I don't know, but maybe I can do like a Zoom call in here, but at that point, you know, we won't be working like that anymore, which is the whole point of having something like this, because we can just go to the store if we even go to the store anymore. All right, so let's do this. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, this is normal mode. Hold on. Wait. We don't need no normal nonsense. Boom. All right. And we're on auto hold. So it auto holds the brakes. There are really no settings in here for that. Like, we have settings, but it's for the networking, and then we have interior, we have exterior. You can pause this video anytime you want. This stereo is, yeah, see, those are the performance pack seatbelts, but we don't have them in here. I don't know. This could be a prototype. This definitely feels cool. Charge limit, we have all our assist stuff. Driver alert's really cool. Okay, so I've had that on, and it's really sensitive, but it also does something cool. When it senses like grogginess or whatever, it actually boosts the air. It actually like blasts you with cold air to like get you, active. I'm gonna turn it off though. All right, and I think that camera may be for the driver assistance, but this is also the same thing. I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, that's it. So thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. This is the future. I hope you enjoy it. See ya. Okay, I just noticed one thing. I made a mistake. Parts are from China, but it's actually made in Korea. That's interesting. And I think this will get crushed now that I'm done with it.
I thought this car is made here.
It says Korea. Korea, but the window sticker says China.
China.
So who knows? Maybe this has got to be a prototype. Is it a prototype then? I guess. I don't know.
I thought this is our America.
Well, you know what? It could be a prototype because it's 000.
Oh, yeah, this is prototype.
Okay.
It is. They take my 10,000 miles.
They crush it.
Yeah.
I should have driven it harder.